guys, what's up? So, Estonia 99 video number 2. I think where we had last left off was that we had taken a walking tour the day after Teresa and I got super lost, and I called my mom and cried. We took a walking tour of Old Town Tallinn with our choir, and we saw more than just Old Town. We actually saw like the Parliament building, which I already put a picture. It was that big pink building in the last video, and then like a Russian church that's right next to it, the Onion Dome Church. And then they actually put us on a bus and took us to Valyak, which Teresa and I were like, yeah, we were here last night. But it was cool. We got to see it during the day, and there's a couple of pictures in there. You can see how ginormous it is. But we had fun just hanging out. You know, we got to, even though we had just been on a plane for hours and hours and hours with our friends, you know, we all were like, you know, just talking about our homestays and you know, about what we'd experienced so far, what everything was like. So we had been shown where our rehearsal spaces were going to be, and I think it was a couple of different spaces depending on what was available. One was way far away, like 45-minute walk away, which I told you about. And another one was a little bit closer in. I think it was just on the outside of Old Town. I don't recall exactly. I probably could not find it again if you forced me to. It's just been so long. But Teresa and I pretty much walked everywhere, and you're probably wondering why. We're like, Amanda, why don't you just take the bus if you're so awesome with public transportation? Well, I wasn't awesome with public transportation back then. It's the first time I'd been anywhere. I didn't know what I was doing. I hadn't really ridden any city buses at home because I'm from the country. We don't have public transportation that comes out to like where I lived. You live on property. Like there's no public transportation. And so I just really hadn't ridden hardly anything. Or let alone navigated it by myself. Definitely not. So Teresa and I were both kind of like, let's just walk. We don't know what to do with this bus business. And because we were kind of traumatized from getting on the wrong bus and getting lost, we thought, we'll just walk. So it was about a 15-minute walk into Old Town from our apartment. We pretty much did it every day that we were in Tallinn. And there was this park that we walked through that was, I think it was right across the street from one of the entrances to Old Town. And there's a little kiosk there that sold like magazines, newspapers, candy bars, soda, chips, whatever. And we called it the ABBA Cafe because every single time we walked by they were playing ABBA music. I thought that was pretty funny. So we walked by the ABBA Cafe, and we'd go, after our rehearsals, we'd go explore Old Town a little bit. And sometimes we'd see some of our friends there, and you know, we'd all decide to go eat lunch together or something, or just go to souvenir shops together. But we ate at this place called Pizza Americana a lot, not because we only like pizza or that we're unwilling to try other things, but it was just familiar and easy, and we're like, oh, let's go to Pizza Americana. And it was really good, too. It was definitely not like pizza we'd had at home, but it was good. It was fine. And I got my first tattoo the first week that we were in Estonia. There was a really dark, grainy picture of me getting my first tattoo, and there was a whole bunch of us up there that day in the tattoo place getting tattoos, and I think at least 6 or 7 or more people got 1 or more tattoos on that trip. It was just, it's not like they were super cheap, but they seemed that way, and we were just excited, like, I got a tattoo. So anyway, after a couple of days, I think, we all got on a bus to go to Tartu, which is a university town. I think I've mentioned that in the other videos too. And Tartu is a really cool place. I think it's the second biggest city, maybe, I don't know. But they had a really nice little like town square, which may look familiar to you when I put up these pictures. But there's also a fountain. We called it the Kissing Fountain because it's of 2 people kissing. I think there might be an umbrella. They're holding an umbrella too. We just thought it was really cute. And we were in Tartu for a couple of things. I think we performed like just a regular concert, you know, at some concert hall, and then sang at somebody's party afterwards. I don't know if it was like a birthday party or it wasn't a wedding for sure. We just went where we were told. We were like, oh, we're getting on the bus. Oh, we have to stay in our choir dresses. Oh, okay, we're going to sing here, whatever. You know, are we going to get food and beer? We went where we were told a lot of the times. At least I did. I wasn't really paying that much attention. It was just fun everywhere I went. But we also were there to sing in Tartu's Laulupidu. And remember I mentioned that some of the smaller towns have their own Laulupidu before the big one in Tallinn. And so we got to march in Tartu's. There's always a parade before, like you march in this parade and people are holding like a banner that says, you know, what their group name is, whether they're a dance troupe or a choir or whatever. And so of course when we marched, we would hold an American flag and an Oregon flag. And since I was short and a soprano, because we went in like order, I held the Oregon flag all the time. And so we marched in the Tartu parade, and you march to the song grounds, and then you march right up into the song grounds if you're going to be singing. And I have to tell you, like, we had a bunch of music prepared before we left, of course, like tons of music, and we learned a lot of the national songs, and we were given a book that was going to be that year's official, like, Laulupidu songbook. Well, there was a lot of, on this trip, Lonnie just handing us music we'd never seen before, like, here, this is the official song of blah, 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 we're going to sing it when we get there so that they, you know, appreciate us or something, I don't know. And so at the Tartu Laulupidu, they had some different songs that we had never rehearsed, and so we muscled our way through it. Luckily, we weren't the only ones there. There was, you know, a lot of people, other people singing, but one of the songs, I swear I felt like I was singing the word Pepsi over and over again. I didn't know, it was like a, you know, banana, watermelon, you know, just say words so that it looks like you're doing something, it looks like you know what you're doing. It was kind of silly. But a lot of the songs we did know. And it was crazy because we would be singing, and there were dance troupes kind of acting out whatever the songs were that we were singing, because a lot of them, you know, were like harvest songs or whatever. And so there was, you know, different dance troupes in all their like traditional dress, and then there was something to do with straw, and there's pictures of all of this. So there's like straw being thrown around out of wagons, and then all of a sudden, on top of it all, they roll out these big, huge, like, straw balls. I don't know if it was like wood, straw, whatever. They roll them out with sticks, and they light them on fire, and they're like moving them around, these fireballs. And we're all just like, what is going on? It was crazy. And we actually have some good pictures because Jared wasn't singing with us that day. He was sitting in the audience with another choir member's baby. Our friend Allison that was on the trip, she had, like, her first son was like 9 or 10 months old at the time. So we had a baby on the trip too. It was crazy. And so he was holding the baby so he could take all these cool pictures, because of course we're not going to click pictures while we're in the performance area. But it was nuts. It was a really hot day too, so we could totally feel the heat like coming off of those things lit on fire. It made me nervous. I was like, oh my god, we're all gonna die, it's gonna burn down. But it was a really awesome experience. And then after that, there was like a boys choir that had, you know, participated in this as well, one of Hiervo's boys choirs, and they just loved us. They like followed us around. They were our little buddies. And so we'd go back to our bus, like to get on our bus and go to the next place, and they'd follow us, and they didn't want us to leave. And we ended up forming these big giant circles and taught them how to play hacky sack. And I have a whole bunch of pictures of it, but I'll just put up at least one or two. And it was really cool because, I mean, I don't know if any of them knew how to play hacky sack, but hacky sack was a big thing with our choir, and I wasn't good at it, but Jared's amazing at it, and so were a bunch of other people. And so we were just teaching these little boys how to play hacky sack, and it was just really fun. So then we got on our big giant bus, and we headed out to Rakvere, which originally we were supposed to have homestays in most of these other places we were staying outside of Tallinn, but that just didn't work out. We ended up staying in old yucky dorms or whatever. But in Rakvere, it did work out, and so we did have another homestay there, which were usually choir members. Like, we were staying with choir members. And we weren't restricted to who we had to room with. We could room with anyone we wanted, wherever we wanted, except for in Tallinn. We chose, you know, this is where we're rooming, so that's where you stay. So I decided to stay with my friend Charisse. Like, we said, oh, it's fun, I haven't seen you for a while, let's visit, we'll stay at a place together. And our homestay's house was out in the country. It was gorgeous, so pretty. And I think most people's were out in the country. And oh my gosh, our homestays were just always so, so nice. And we were only with these ones for like 2 days. And we did a concert where we were doing an exchange with, I think, the boys choir that we had just played hacky sack with in Tartu. We did an exchange with them, and it was just a really, really awesome concert. The boys choir was great. They were ages from like 6 years old to early 20s, something like that. And there were a couple of solos, little boys with soprano voices that were gorgeous. Pia Yesu was one of them. If any of you know that song, it was just so beautiful. And then our new friend Velio, who told us he was 15, but I'm pretty sure he was like 13. I don't know, Velio, how old were you? You watch these, I think, so tell me. But he sang a solo too, and he became Teresa and my new little buddy, because we saw him in some places in Tallinn as well. And I'm sorry, Velio, but I'm putting up pictures of you as a little boy. Hopefully you don't get mad at me. But we also met another couple of little boys named Priit and Mert that were also in that choir. And Mert, I actually have talked to recently. I have both of them on Facebook. Mert became Jared's little buddy too, and it was just so cute. They're big boys now, but they were tiny little boys then. But Priit and Mert actually got permission from their moms, their parents, to come with us. They showed up the day we were leaving Rakvere with money, and they were like, we can go with you, our moms gave us money. And so we had these two, like, I'm gonna say they were 13 something at the time, and they just were on the bus with all these college kids. It was probably really not a good idea, but you know, it was fun. But we did that concert, and after that concert we had a hoisa party at this bar restaurant place. It was all set up for us. We had dinner and we drank and we danced and we sang, and it was so much freaking fun. We sang outside in the rain while our two directors, like Lonnie and Hirvo, were directing for us. It was just an awesome moment. We were dancing, like partner dancing. There's a picture of me dancing with Mert with my sunglasses on because I drank a little bit too much. And then, you know, just dancing in a big circle, and it was just so much fun. I had so much fun and drank just a little bit too much that I left this little fanny pack. Yes, I had a fanny pack, but it wasn't mine. I borrowed it, and I didn't wear it. I just carried it. But I had, like, my wallet, my passport, all the things that are important to me, and my sunglasses were in this, and I left it on the table because I was drunk. And I didn't realize till the next day that when it was really bright and I wanted my sunglasses, that I left my very important things on a table in a bar. And yeah, it was really frustrating. And this probably, you guys are probably like, that is so not Amanda. It was me at that age. That's why I was a crazy person. I did not know what I was doing. I was an idiot. But I got it back because our tour guide Helle had gone around and picked up things that we all left behind, and mine was the most valuable thing that she picked up, but she was nice to me and said, okay, you owe me one. I was like, okay. And then after that we went to Rakvere Castle, and it's like the ruins of a castle. It was built in 1200, something like that, and it was really cool. We wandered around, learned a little history about it, you know, took some cool pictures, and then we were off. We got on the bus again, and I think we stopped at some bar that had, like, it was a windmill bar or something like that, really cool. We stopped at a lot of places on our road trip because, you know, hours in between towns, we got to stop, go to the bathroom, eat something. But there was, like, a windmill bar that we stopped at. It was pretty cool. But we were on our way to Saaremaa next. So I will cut this off because I'm sure this is really long, as all of them will probably be. But yeah, I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.